Does your car have a jumpy or unresponsive throttle? A TPS reset might save you a trip to the mechanic. The TPS tells your engine's computer how far the throttle is open. If it falls out of sync, you can get hesitation, poor idle, or a check engine light. Fortunately, there are a few tricks to retrain or reset your TPS sensor and restore proper throttle response. Below, we'll cover 4 quick methods from simple battery resets to using advanced scan tools that actually work to recalibrate a TPS. Try these steps in order, and you might fix that throttle issue right in your driveway. Step 1. Disconnect the battery to reset the ECU. The first and easiest trick is a hard reset of the engine control unit by disconnecting the battery. This clears learned throttle settings and forces the car to reinitialize the TPS values. Start by turning the ignition off and removing the keys. Disconnect the negative battery cable, then the positive cable. Leave the battery disconnected for about 10-15 minutes to ensure all power drains from the ECU. This waiting period is important because it lets the car's memory fully reset. After 15 minutes, reconnect the battery. This basic reset often prompts the computer to relearn the throttle position from scratch when you start the car next. It's a simple trick that can fix minor calibration issues. Step 2. Use the gas pedal relearn trick. Many vehicles allow a TPS reset through a specific pedal sequence with no tools required. One common method. Insert the key and turn the ignition to the on position. Slowly press the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor, then slowly release it back to fully up. Do this 2 or 3 times. On the last release, turn the key off. This process helps the ECU relearn the closed and open throttle positions. In some cars, a slight variation is required. If your vehicle has a specific pedal relearn in the manual, follow that. Otherwise, this general method works for most cars. Once done, start the engine and see if the idle or throttle response improved. This quick trick costs nothing and often smooths out a rough idle or hesitant acceleration if the TPS had simply lost its reference points. Step 3. Clean the throttle body and TPS sensor, optional. Sometimes what feels like a TPS problem is actually a dirty throttle body or a sticking throttle mechanism. It's worth inspecting the throttle body for carbon buildup and ensuring the TPS sensor's connections are clean. If you disconnect the intake tubing, look at the throttle plate. Black soot around the edges can prevent it from fully closing, which affects TPS calibration. Use throttle body cleaner and a rag to wipe out that gunk. Also check the TPS sensor's electrical connector. If you see corrosion, you can spray an electrical contact cleaner or give it a gentle wipe. If the TPS is dirty or corroded, a careful wipe with a lint-free cloth may improve its performance. Be gentle and avoid abrasive materials on the sensor. Once the throttle body and TPS are clean, reconnect everything. This isn't a reset per se, but it ensures that when you do reset electronically, the mechanical parts aren't hindering proper alignment. Step 4. Try an OBD2 scanner TPS reset. If the manual tricks haven't solved your issue, a more high-tech approach may help. Some vehicles require using a diagnostic scanner or dealer tool to perform a TPS or throttle body relearn. Many mid-level OBD2 scan tools have special functions for throttle relearn or TPS reset. Using the scanner, you can command the ECU to reset the TPS calibration and learn the current throttle positions. For instance, on certain cars you might select the TPS reset function, turn the key on, and wait while the ECU adjusts the throttle stop. Some newer vehicles may need a diagnostic tool to reset the throttle position sensor. If you have access to such a tool, follow its procedure. This method ensures the recalibration is done correctly, especially on drive-by-wire systems. After performing the scan tool reset, turn the ignition off, wait a few seconds, and then start the engine to see if the idle and throttle response are back to normal. Step 5. Perform an idle relearn after resetting. After any TPS reset or battery disconnect, it's wise to let the car relearn its idle properly. When you start the engine again, don't rev it immediately. Let it idle for a few minutes with accessories off. The ECU will be adjusting the idle speed since it now has new TPS and throttle settings. On some cars, you might see the idle hunt up and down at first. That's okay. Give it time and it should stabilize. Avoid blipping the throttle or turning on accessories during this time. In fact, some manufacturers specify an idle relearn procedure. Consult your manual if you suspect your car has a formal idle relearn, but in general, a few minutes of idling will do. This ensures that the engine's control systems calibrate things like the IAC, or electronic throttle motor, to maintain a steady idle with the TPS resets you've done. Step 6. Take a test drive and monitor throttle response. With the engine warm and idling smoothly, take a short test drive to verify the results. Pay attention to how the car accelerates, cruises, and coasts down. Is the throttle response smoother and more linear? The previous hesitation or jerkiness at certain pedal positions should be gone. If your car's an automatic, notice if the shift points feel more natural now. Try a mix of gentle and moderate acceleration to let the ECU recalibrate under various loads. By the end of a 10-minute drive, your car should be running noticeably better. If it's not, double-check that you performed the steps correctly. Step 7. Consider replacing the TPS if resets don't work. If you've tried all the above tricks and your throttle issues persist, you might have a TPS that's actually faulty. The TPS is a moving electrical part and can wear out or get internally damaged over time. If none of these resets fix the problem, it's likely time for a TPS replacement. A failing TPS can cause continued acceleration sluggishness, stalling, erratic idle, or an ongoing check engine light that nothing else clears. Replacing the TPS is usually straightforward. After installing a new TPS, go through the reset procedures again so the ECU can acclimate to the new sensor. TPS sensors are generally affordable, and replacing one often immediately cures drivability issues. Step 8. Know when to get professional help. If you're not comfortable with these procedures, or if you've done them all and the car still isn't behaving, it's wise to seek help from a professional mechanic. A technician can properly diagnose throttle problems and confirm whether the TPS is at fault or if another issue is causing similar symptoms. Trying the DIY methods first is worthwhile, but professional diagnosis ensures the problem is resolved correctly and safely.